So over the past 20 years or so, this has happened a few times, but just the other day, someone called me, got a hold of me, and said, hey, I'm starting a new heating and air conditioning business, and I wanted to know if you could meet with me and just give me some tips. I said, sure, where are you located? He said, Dayton, Ohio. I said, great, that's where I'm located. He said, I know, that's why I'm calling you. I said, okay, why don't you come into my office? We'll spend an hour or so, and I'll give you some tips. And he did. He showed up, and we met, and I gave him some really good beneficial tips that I wish someone would have given me when I first started. And then I wished him the best and said, if he needs anything, give me a call. I always say, come on in. The water's warm. There's plenty of fish in the sea, even in Dayton, Ohio, with about 1 million people population. So he was very grateful and sent me a $50 gift card, which he didn't have to do, but I was definitely grateful for that. I'm glad I helped him. And that's happened a few times. And then I had a company call, a company that's been in business for a while, just went through some hard times. A couple of their trucks were in an accident. It was a fatal accident. And they called me the day of this big funeral that was going on and said, hey, could you guys help us cover some calls? I said, absolutely. So in basically these examples, both of these things that happened, these occasions that happened, benefited me $0. I collected for the other company, and they took care of me, of course, but I did it because I would want someone to do it for me, and it benefited them. It helped them get through this one little thing that would help them get through this time. And for this new business owner, I helped give him a kickstart in the right direction, what to do, what not to do in about an hour and a half's time. And he took a lot of notes, but I spent an hour and a half of my time, so my time's valuable. But I did it because I wanted to do it, and it helped him get started the right way. There's so many companies that get started the wrong way. These are examples of intrinsic, either motivation or intrinsic goals, which we're going to talk about today. But as I reflect on these examples, they've contributed to success for that new business owner and a positive business culture for us. Because as a Marine Corps veteran, I apply teamwork, I apply discipline, I apply resilience that I've learned along the way to build McAfee and every other business that I've started. And the intrinsic goal is empowering to others to be better today than when they first started. So if I help out my team, I always look at it as I want you to be better today than when you first came to McAfee. And I don't care if you come here as an 18-year-old right out of high school, because we train people, we put them through HVAC training, hard skills, soft skills. We partner with a accredited college to get them a degree and to get them in a truck relatively soon and to make more money than they've ever made in their life. And so I like to impact lives for the better, and I drive innovation and I drive efficiency, okay? As a Marine Corps veteran. Now, as an entrepreneur who, despite facing many failures and many setbacks over my 33 years, which I've talked a lot about on this podcast, I remain committed to taking care of people. And I just told someone the other day that if you just take care of people, the profits will come. And they said, not always. I disagreed, but I didn't want to argue about it because it is what it is. And I've always taken care of people. I learned that from a lot of other different people, that if you just take care of people, the profits will come. And I learned that from people that are no longer around, like Harvey Firestone and Henry Ford and Thomas Edison and John D. Rockefeller. Just take care of people. And it's the best thing that we can do. And we have to be constantly improving as an entrepreneur, constantly improving, being accountable to my team, to provide jobs for them every day. No matter how many employees, if you only have one employee, you're providing a job. You know, I always looked at it as, now today with 2 incomes in families and sometimes 3 incomes in families and all that stuff, this may not apply, but boy, it did apply years ago, was that we put bread and butter on tables, man. We help put bread and butter on tables. And you know where I got that from is my grandma. My grandpa retired from Firestone Tire and Rubber Company, 40-some years service, and he would come home reeking of rubber. You know, it was Akron, Ohio was a rubber capital of the world, but when you worked at Firestone, man, you reeked of rubber. And my grandma would say often, I love that smell. It puts bread and butter on our tables. And I'll tell you, when you're an employer and you provide jobs, you're helping put bread and butter on tables. And for McAfee, we want to stay number one in our market. So despite all the failures, despite all the setbacks, we're committed. I'm committed. We're committed to staying number one in our market. And we have for 8 years. And we like number one. It's a good place to be. Then, you know, as a business owner who is a Christian, my example is very important. I've got to watch what I do constantly. I've got to watch what I say. I've got to watch who's watching me, because there's always a lot of people watching me. And I inspire commitment. I inspire ethical practices. I inspire lots of community involvement. And I inspire charitable giving. I'm a charitable giver. I enjoy giving. We have a handful of places that we give to, nonprofits and charitable organizations that we donate to that make sense to us, that are local, and we like to help. And we make a positive impact both internally and externally. And these examples just demonstrate how intrinsic goals guide us as leaders to have personal fulfillment and steer toward sustainable success, ethical practices, and be a meaningful contribution to society. Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Okay, welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss steps to successful entrepreneurship, how to take your business to new heights, and ultimately follow your dreams. Today, we're going to be discussing the heart of success, unveiling intrinsic business goals. Now let's get started. Intrinsic goals often focus on personal growth. It's a contribution to society. It's a contribution for a well-being society. It's building positive relationships. It's within your team and within your clients, within your suppliers, and it's achieving excellence and mastery in a field. Okay? Unlike extrinsic goals that focus on being motivated by external outcomes and money and cash, they can sometimes lead to short-term success at the expense of long-term or short-term fulfillment. Intrinsic goals are sustainable, and they are deeply motivating, and they foster engagement, creativity, and resilience. So in the context of business, Prioritizing intrinsic goals means focusing on creating value that transcends financial success alone. It involves cultivating a culture, which we're going to talk about more today, the culture of a business, that values learning, innovation, ethical practices, and commitment to making a positive impact in the community and our environment that we live. And this approach not only enriches the personal satisfaction of the owner, the leaders, the team, but it also contributes overall to sustainability and an ethical footprint for the business. And I don't know about you, but I want to be known as being ethical and being honest, full of integrity, do it right or don't do it. I'd rather give it to you than take it from you. All those types of things. So segment 1 here, we're going to talk about understanding intrinsic goals. So if I had to define intrinsic goals, they are inherently rewarding to pursue. They are independent of external rewards, aka cash, or what's in it for me. I guess, sometimes I thought about this as I was writing this, and I was like, can you have an intrinsic goal and an extrinsic goal at the same time? Because when I help someone out, it kind of helps me. But I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it to help someone out. But the byproduct of that is it helps me. It makes me feel good. I like to feel good. I like to help someone. And if I can help someone or make an impact in their life or make an impact in their business or make an impact in their marriage or in their financial situation, whatever it might be, it feels good. Extrinsic goals are all about finances. It's all about success. It's all about it's all about market dominance. Like I talk about being number one. It's all about look at me. Look what I do. Those are extrinsic goals, okay? But an intrinsic goal it's unique. And if you focus more on the intrinsic goals, you've got to have extrinsic goals. You've got to have financial goals. You've got to set goals for your company. You've got to set goals for your business. You've got to have an outline of goals. I talk about that often. We get a few calls a year where like a child can't go home from the hospital until they have air conditioning in their home because of their physical situation. And, we just make it happen. Our team thrives on this. They love helping. They love helping out a family. We make a difference in a life. A child gets to go home from the hospital. We have visited the hospital because we have partnered with hospitals before, and we have visited with children, rather, that have never left the hospital and they're 2 years old. But when they do go home, they have to have air conditioning in the home. They have to have climate control. They have to remove humidity in order to breathe properly. And we make a difference in lives. It's more than making money. We get that child home and we go on to the next job. We'll make it up later. It's not about the money at that time at all. Now, also, the role of intrinsic goals in business success is, how they contribute to sustainable business practices and long-term success of the business. I just don't think you'll be around long only thinking about yourself. I just don't think I've watched businesses come and go because of that. If it's all about you and you can't help anyone else, we went through a hard time in 2020 and I won't go into this here. You can go back in 2020 and probably 2021 and watch one of my podcasts where I explained it all. But I said something insensitive during a very sensitive time in America, and I was attacked, and it went viral. And we had another HVAC company in our area contact as many employees as they possibly could and tried to get them to come to their business to work. Complete opposite of intrinsic goals. It was all extrinsic goals. I'll take advantage of this company while they're down and out. We weren't down and out, but we were down. And I'll try to get their employees to come to me because I know their employees, some of them want to leave. That's downright dirty. It's downright dirty. I never contacted the owner. I never said anything bad about them. But let me tell you something. When we go up against them, it's do or die. We're going to get that job. And we do. Probably 90% of the time we get the job. And it's on, it's basically on purpose. That's how I get even. I just take market share and keep going. But that's another story. Let's go back to intrinsic goals. That's the opposite of helping out a company when they're in need, where they could have said, hey, if you guys need anything, let us know. I mean, maybe taking the high road. But, there's a lot of psychological benefits for leaders and employees having intrinsic motivation, having intrinsic goals, and that is increased motivation, that is job satisfaction, and that is resilience. Now, let me tell you something that you might already know. It's been proven that the younger generation want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And I have on my team a lot of younger generation. It's a mix, but it's probably 60% younger generation. That means 30 and below. That means 18 to 30-year-olds, basically. Because today, like I mentioned, we hire right out of high school. They don't need heating and air school. We train all that, and probably better than most schools do, because we give additional training, we give on-the-job training, and so on. In the lab, we have a full soft skills class. We have everything we need to train them our way. And our way is pretty high. It's above average. Like I said, we aim for excellence in all that we do. But it's been proven that the younger generation want to be part of something bigger than themselves. So if you can have intrinsic goals, and you can be community oriented and community involved and help out families and help out children, they want to be part of that. They like that. As a matter of fact, that motivates them more than a lot of other things you would think motivates them. Okay? So there's a lot of employee contribution to eccentric goals, and that's kind of like we've had people go get their bachelor's. They went and got their master's degree in a field just because it interests them, but also to move up the ladder. That was an investment they made. That was an intrinsic goal on their part. Also, to continue, we have people that have been here 15 to 30 years. I've been in business 33. So my third employee is still here. And I was just talking to someone the other day out of Chicago, and his second employee is still with him. And they've been in business about 30 years as well. But my third employee is still with us. So they continue to work at the same company because they enjoy working here. All right? And they also, when someone strives to perform better and improve their own skills, in other words, they're reading a lot, they're on YouTube a lot, they're learning a lot, they're asking a lot of questions, those are intrinsic motivational goals for them. They're doing it on their own. I'm not making them do it. No manager's making them do it. They're doing it on their own. That's intrinsic motivation for me. I like that. Those guys make more money than anyone else. They make more money. They get more increases is what I'm saying, because they're wanting it. I like people who want it. I like people who are hungry. I like people who are motivated to do more and improve, which helps the entire team. And also, I've had people stay late at times. I've had people come in early at times. And here's what they say. I didn't clock in this morning. I got here early. I didn't clock in. Now, if the DOL hear this, they'll be at my door. You're making people work without paying them. That's not the case at all. I've got motivated individuals, who have said, I didn't clock in this morning because I came in to get a few things done before I started. Now, since we've been visited by the Department of Labor, we let them know we're going to go ahead and pay you for this. As motivating as that sounds, try not to do that anymore because of the Department of Labor. Our hands are tied in that area. I wish you could come in and not get paid, but we need to get you paid. So they come in early, they stay late because they like it. They like it here. They want to improve here. They want to improve the job here. They might be coming in early to make things run smoother. They might be staying late so tomorrow runs smoother. Many different things for employees to contribute to intrinsic motivational goals. And then you've got implementing them, providing strategies and integrating intrinsic goals into daily business operations, decision-making processes, and company culture. Let's talk about company culture. I was on a phone call this week with a company and wanted to know more about company culture. So company culture is one of the most important things that you can have, which is on our top 6 of the McAfee way. It's culture. The way I describe culture to someone coming into our company for the first time, because I try to meet with every new person we hire. I don't care what position. I sit down with them with the McAfee Way card, and I go over the McAfee Way. And I say something like this. If you're in a family unit, I don't care if you're married or you're just still living at home, but if you're in a family unit and you have parents or someone that you have Christmas and Thanksgiving with, and then another side of the family you have Christmas and Thanksgiving with, I always ask the question, is it the same on both? And every time I get, no way. Okay, that's culture, okay? This family eats a certain way. They eat certain foods. This family opens presents a certain way. They may just all go at it at once, or they may go individually around the circle and open one at a time. Who knows? But it's culture. You don't go into that culture, especially as a new married person, and go, hey, we need to do it the way my family does. That's not how it works. That would be chaos, right? That's their culture. Leave it alone. Enjoy it with them. That's what they want. If paper flies everywhere and it's a mess, that's what they're used to. Let them go. But if this side over here is very organized and you're not used to organized, you like paper flying, that's okay. That's culture. It's separate, okay? When you go work for a new company, they have culture, okay? If you're an owner and you don't know your culture, just ask your team. They know your culture. They know if you're organized. They know if you're structured. They know if you have systems in place. If you don't, they know. They can describe it for you, okay? So culture is extremely important. It's what time do you arrive in the morning? That's culture. As the owner, that's culture. If you're late all the time, don't be disappointed. Your entire team will be late a lot, okay? If you're prompt, you're on time, you're disciplined, you have a better chance of having a team who's on time, prompt, and disciplined. That's how it works. It starts at the top and trickles down. And John Maxwell, who I follow often, said everything falls on leadership. One of his favorite quotes, everything falls on leadership. That's culture, okay? When you're intrinsic, you're more likely to help develop and build better habits within your team. When you're intrinsically motivated, if that's a term, you're more likely to build better habits within your team because it requires no justification to work on those habits. You're not in it for the buck. You're in it to help. And if you're intrinsic, you will be thankful for any progress that you're able to make because you're enjoying it and loving it along the way. Okay? Most of what I do, I love, or I just wouldn't be involved in it anymore. I love what I do. I love every aspect of what I do. Now, do we have bumps in the road? And have I been attacked? And are there bad days? Absolutely. But the good overrides the bad. I just had someone text me today and said, this is an off-the-wall question. I follow you on Facebook. How do you stay so darn positive? And I explained many things. I've learned I've learned to be positive. I wasn't always positive. And sometimes it's real easy to see the negative, but I've learned to be positive. And do I get down? Yes, but I don't stay down long. I get back up fast and I move on, because the comeback is always better than the setback. Always. And I learned that more in 2020 than I have my entire life. And I learned a lot from that experience. And I gained experience from that. And I learned a valuable lesson from that. And I move on. And today we're doing better than we ever have. Today, I'm doing better than I ever have. By the way, I've mentioned that I'm losing weight. I've lost 72 pounds now from intermittent fasting, which is what I started first. Elliptical cardio, 5 to 7 nights a week. I do that. I've now been working out for almost 12 solid weeks of 3 days a week workouts with a trainer. No sugars. No sugars. Only keto bread, and that's every once in a while. No dairy products, and that's been going on for about 8 weeks. I've seen more definition in my muscles from backing off of dairy products, and that's a whole nother story, but you'll find out that dairy products put just a fine layer of fat over your muscles. And so I've cut back on that. I do drink like almond milk and goat cheese, which makes some people gag, but I like it. And very little fruit. I eat grapefruit because it's a diuretic, and I eat a very small orange tangerine 30 minutes before I work out, which gives me a little pump for energy. But I've lost 72 pounds, and I've got 28 pounds to go to hit my goal. I want to lose 100 pounds. Just so you know, I weighed 314 pounds October 5th of 23. And it'll be about 5 months here in another week. And I should be down about, I don't know, hopefully 73, 74 pounds by then. It's coming off a little slower because I'm gaining a lot of muscle now. So we're fighting the weight issue because I'm gaining weight with muscle. But it's an intrinsic goal for me. Yes, there's a benefit. There's a benefit to feeling good. Yes, there's a benefit to being healthier. Yes, there's a benefit for getting off all 6 prescription meds that was controlling high blood pressure and high cholesterol. I'm off all of them now. Yes, there's a benefit, but it's more intrinsic than it is extrinsic, okay? No one's paying me to lose weight. I'm not doing a show for a diet company to lose weight. It's me, 100% me, with the help of God, giving me the ability to do what I do and having the tenacity to stay with it. So when you're intrinsic, you become more confident. Helping other people does a lot for you. Helping other people is the best way to fight depression. Helping other people helps you build confidence and self-sufficiency. And with the confidence, you will you don't need other people's approval to do what you do. With confidence, you can make an impact on many more people than you could without confidence. And you encourage, hopefully, which I get good feedback about this, I encourage listeners to embark on a reflective journey to uncover their own intrinsic goals and to take actionable steps towards integrating them into entrepreneurial endeavors. So, hopefully, what I do, what I say, what I'm able to do, what I'm capable of doing against many, many odds, it motivates you to say, if he can do it, I can do it. And that helps you in your business. That helps you in your life. That could help you in your marriage. That could help you with children. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. So I enjoy doing this podcast. We're on somewhere around 152 podcasts by the time you watch this one, because I've got some, in the what I call in the bank, in case I'm off a week or something, I don't have to worry about recording one. So I've got a few in the hopper. And so far, I figured it up. We've probably spent, not money. We've probably spent 500 to 600 hours investing in these podcasts, 500 to 600 hours. And you know how much I've made from 500 to 600 hours of my time in these podcasts? Zero, folks. Zero. Maybe one day I will. Maybe one day I'll have a nice sponsor who sponsors me. Maybe one day we get this on a channel who pays well for a good podcast that are viewed by many. However, right now it's zero, but I keep producing them because I enjoy making them to help you, if I didn't get any feedback, and thanks for all the feedback, you don't know what it does for people. Some of you say, this guy's really helping me, but you never let that guy know. Let that guy know. Let that gal know. Let somebody know they're helping you. Don't keep it a secret. But I enjoy helping people. I enjoy helping them think differently. I enjoy helping them improve their life. And I enjoy helping them make an impact in someone else's life and help their business grow stronger. I love all that stuff. That's why I do what I do. This is 100%. This podcast is the best example I can give today for an intrinsic goal. Because I'm not doing it for anything else but to help others. And I don't need a pat on the back. And I'm not doing it. I'm not telling you this for a pat on the back. I'm telling you this to give proof and evidence of intrinsic motivational goals that you can set for your business, for your life, that you can pass on to your children and their children and their children. And I'll tell you, folks, when I got my first granddaughter, little Corinne, who's about 5 months old now, and we've been watching her sometimes, and we get to play with her and hold her. Now she's getting to be where she knows who we are, and she laughs. And I loved my kids. I loved my babies. I loved raising them, sports, everything we did. But my first grandchild is just cool. I can't explain it. But I thought about it. I was out of shape, weighed 314 pounds, was in a lot of pain, had a lot of fluid buildup in my body from multiple surgeries, quintuple bypass, 2 knee replacements, all within the last 2.5 years. And I thought, having this grandbaby, I want to be around for this grandbaby and every other grandbaby that my children have. And I'm 60 years old, and I want to be around another 30 years. I'm only 2/3 way through my life. I want to be around another 30 years to enjoy this next generation of McAfee. And I can't wait. And losing this weight so far has given me high energy, a very strong sense of well-being, less pain, no medications, except vitamins now. I take a lot of supplements and vitamins, healthy ones. And it's making a difference in other people, because now other people are asking me how I did it, and they're losing weight. My team, I've got people losing weight here. I've got friends losing weight. I got friends working out. I got friends doing cardio. It's amazing what you can do when you, the leader, starts doing things. It trickles down. People see you. You're influencing them. If you're a parent, you're an influencer. If you have one employee, you're an influencer. You're influencing someone every single day. And the more employees you have, and the more children you have, you're a greater influence on people. So be careful. You can influence them for the good. You can influence them for the bad. I know I've influenced people many different ways. And I'd rather influence them for the positive side, the good side, impacting side, all those types of things. So that's all I'm going to say for today. But before we wrap up, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe below. You can also support this podcast by rating and reviewing on iTunes or your preferred listening platform. Keep listening. I'll do my best to keep challenging you. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. No spaces, no underscores. Be sure to tune in next week. I'll have another challenging episode for you. As always, thanks for listening. Carry on. God bless. We're not guaranteed tomorrow, so make today the best day of your life. Have a great day.